This Business Newsmakers is brought to you by Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. There's a reason people live here. There's a reason people bank here.
Hey everyone, Frank DeRaffele here, and welcome to Business Newsmakers. This week we have Adam Simpson with us, who's the sales manager at Residential Home Funding, a mortgage company in the area. Adam, thank you so much for being here today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you here. Well, I wanted you here today because I think, the housing market's coming back, and it seems in a very good way. Mortgages are still low. People are still. It's such an important part of our economic engine going forward. So I wanted to get your 2 cents on that. Before we do that, I always like to find out a little more about the people, and I think everybody wants to know that. So tell us, did you grow up around here? And then after that, kind of how did you get into what you're doing today?
Sure. Well, I was actually born on the South Circle at Vassar Brothers Hospital. So with the exception of a couple of years early when I followed a girl out west, I am a lifelong resident of the Hudson Valley. I'm glad to be here. I couldn't imagine making my home anywhere else. My wife, Becky, and I are residents of LaGrange, and we love the business community around here.
So you go to high school around here then? Where'd you go?
I did. I went to Arlington. I'm an Arlington graduate, an Admiral.
All right, there you go.
Yep.
So do you ever go back to any games now or anything like that?
Actually, both my son and my daughter are at the school, so we're there quite a bit.
Yep. Well, my daughter plays basketball, so we play Arlington and basketball all the time, and we actually won this year the first game. Another one's next week, so we'll see.
Right, exactly. Give us a chance for redemption.
See what happened. So you come out, you're here, you grow up here, and then how did you end up getting into it? Was this mortgage business your first business? Did you do something else before it?
It definitely was not my first business. I was a salesperson growing up, and when my son was born, we decided that it was time for me to have a real job.
Okay.
I'm good with numbers, so I decided that mortgage banking would be a good industry for me. Little did I know that about 18 months after I got into it, we'd have the worst mortgage crash in the history of the United States, but that's how I got there. I found a company up in Kingston that was doing mortgages. They had a great training program, so they taught me everything I needed to know about how to originate a mortgage. And when they moved their operation down to St. Louis and laid us all off, it was a great group of guys. We decided to go looking for a mortgage bank that was looking to start a new branch, and that's how Residential Home Funding LaGrange was built.
Fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about, there's a lot of people out there obviously that either own homes right now and maybe bought them when maybe they shouldn't have, their mortgage is a little bit higher than they should be, or there's people now really looking to get into it. So talk to us a little about from kind of back from 2008 to now with mortgages. Is now a good time to be buying a home? Where do mortgages stand? What are the changes you've seen in the industry? Tell us about that.
Now's a great time to be buying a house. As we've come back from that crash, we're starting to see the housing market pick up quite a bit. In fact, 2016 was the highest year since 2006 for existing home sales. So we're starting to see the market really come back. First-time home buyers are really the lion's share of our business. Here at Residential Home Funding in LaGrange, we really pride ourselves on being able to make the first-timer feel comfortable. Because we're a mid-sized mortgage bank, it really gives us the ability to have a much more personal one-on-one relationship with the client and walk them through a process that can be kind of hair-raising and make it quite a bit more comfortable for them.
Yeah, it's definitely intimidating, and I guess for someone who's out there right now and they're looking to start shopping for a home, usually the first step should really be to go to a mortgage person so they have an idea of what they're going to be able to afford, what they qualify for. Is that usually the first
Absolutely, yeah. Be pre-approved. That's really the most important first step, is to get an idea of what you'd be comfortable with as far as a mortgage payment. If you have a budget, we can definitely work with you to let you know what that type of budget is going to look like in the real world when it comes to the price range that you should be shopping in, how much you need to invest initially into the transaction, and kind of the steps that you need to take in order to get from here to there.
So what would you say for people who are first time going to buy a home, first time coming from mortgage, I guess would be their misconception? So they're going to come in and they probably just think, well, I'm going to go in, I'm going to fill out a credit form, it's going to be all set. Or, I mean, do they have Any clue? Any idea?
Actually, just the opposite, really, Frank. I find that a lot of people think that it's super expensive and they need a ton of money to get into a house. That simply isn't true.
Okay.
Most of the programs that the first-time homebuyers are taking advantage of have very small down payment requirements. Here in the Hudson Valley, the USDA program is a great program. It's a rural housing program that encompasses much of the Tri-County area. And it is actually a 100% financing program. You've got programs like the FHA that will allow you to get into a home with as little as 3.5% down. The seller can share a lot of the closing cost responsibility with the buyer in many transactions. So you really don't need as much money as you think you need in order to buy a house. And with mortgage rates as low as they are right now and starting to creep up, now's a great time to hop back into the market.
Okay, and what's the best way for me to find the right mortgage company, the right mortgage person? So you go out there and there's I can get all these advertisements online, I can do whatever else. In fact, I can shop online and try and get someone from there. So how do I decide who's the right mortgage person for me?
Well, now more than ever, it's important to have a relationship personally with the person who's originating your mortgage. There were a lot of times throughout, in fact, part of the mess is caused by the fact that there are so many companies out there that are advertising online where you don't talk one-on-one with the mortgage originator and they don't get to learn your story. You're simply shopping rate versus rate from different companies. We all offer about the same 6 products right now in the mortgage world. It's not like it used to be where there were 500 or 600 different products with niche consumers attached to each. Right now, everybody offers about the same thing. What you'll find from mortgage company to mortgage company is that the individuals that are involved and their ability to hear your story and find the right way for you to properly document your situation in order to obtain your mortgage in the least painful way.
Okay, so let me ask you, what do you enjoy most about what you do? I mean, working with people, first-time home buyers, what do you enjoy most about that?
Getting people into homes is just such a rewarding thing. To see them obtain that dream that they've been working so hard to achieve, it can be so rewarding.
Okay, so an unrelated question. Now you're all week long, you're working hard, you're doing mortgages, it's got to be a very stressful time. So you're here from the Hudson Valley, so what do you do to relax in the area? So it's on the weekend, let's pretend that you can take weekends off.
Yeah, right.
So whenever you do take time off, what is your go-to? What is it that you do saying, this is what I do to kick back and kind of relax?
I'm an avid golfer. I golf probably 4 or 5 times a week. I'm a member at the Beekman Country Club, so you can find me there pretty much every day.
Are you a pink ball guy during the winter? Or do you go out with the pink balls in the snow?
I do not go out to the no. We've got a great place called DC Indoor that you can take advantage of the simulators during the winter. We try to get down south, my partner and I, a couple of times a year to try to play some golf in the warm weather during the winter and then back into it in the spring.
Very cool. So if people who are watching are looking to either buy a new home, looking to talk to a mortgage professional, or maybe refinance, what's the best way for them to reach you? What's your website or phone numbers they can go after? My
website is gorhf.com. You can find all my contact information on there. You could also reach me at my office at 845-454-6088, and my extension is 110 if you want to talk to me personally.
Look, I really appreciate your coming in because I think this is a really important thing for our economy today, in terms of keeping home sales going, because we know once you're selling a home, so many other industries rely on that, and what you do is extremely important in getting people in there. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much, Frank. I appreciate it.
Yep. Hey guys, if you know somebody who might need a mortgage or some refinancing, have them contact Adam's company. Really going to make a difference. Thank you so much for being here with us. This is Frank DeRaffele here on Business Newsmakers. See you next week.